Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go with Houston Sports Social. My name is Justin. We got Sean on the mic. Go ahead and say what's up to the people, Sean.
What's going on, guys? Sean here, man. First time doing this.
All right, go ahead, Shimmy Sham.
What's up? My name's Shamir. You call me Shimmy Sham, a.k.a. Sham Amazing, a.k.a. Sham Wow, a.k.a. the bastard little child of Superman and Batman. What's up?
So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to start a little podcast, an interactive podcast. Now, so for us as fans, we can talk about what we see in sports and how we can explain sports to, people that may not watch it to the level or degree that we watch it with. So we want to be a podcast of the people, by the people, for the people. So, we always want to, have people come on the show, talk with us, share your beliefs and your ideas too, and we can get this thing going. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the NBA. Let's take it away. So we got the NBA. A lot of things going on. It's playoffs time, so it always gets fun. A lot of people say the regular season doesn't matter until the playoffs starts, right, guys? So, a lot of people will be like, why even have a regular season? Because the playoffs is when things matter. But, me personally, I feel like, the regular season is what builds up to the playoffs. You can't have a playoffs without the regular season because, there's a lot of factors, interior and exterior. You got injuries, you got people getting traded, you got free agency. I mean, you look at the Cavs this year, like they started the season, went through half the season with one team. Now, if you look at them, they're a completely different team. They got like a whole different face, a whole different identity, right, guys? So it's like a lot of these things matter, because if we went straight to the playoffs, imagine the Cavs, how they were, where they are now. Like, would they even be in the playoffs? Because, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people like go into star power, and sometimes it doesn't really work out the way you want it to work out. So we're going to touch on stuff like that, guys. We're going to talk about the regular season. We're going to talk about the playoffs in the West and the East and how everything's going to shape out. And then we're going to touch on a little bit of NFL. We got Texans, but we got free agency throughout the NFL too. Then after that, we're going to go into baseball, a little bit of Astros talk. We got free agency in baseball too. Then we got college basketball. A lot of people are excited about college basketball. I don't know how your brackets are still doing because the first round just finished a little bit earlier today. We're going to talk a little bit about UH basketball, and then after that, we're just going to talk about who knows what. So let's go ahead.
First, I'm a trauma.
Some water cooler talk for you guys. Yeah. Of course. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We got the NBA. What you got to talk about, Sean? Let's go ahead with it.
Hey, man, the NBA right now is just out of everything that's going on right now with the NBA is just, everybody's on their toes. It's crazy
for sure.
The one thing I can tell you right now that with the Houston Rockets, let's start off with the Houston.
Yeah, let's start off right at home, right?
We're all three of us. We're Houstonians.
Houston boys, what's up?
What's going on?
Shout out.
Don't get me wrong. I have respect for the Rockets, but I'm a Spurs fan first.
Okay, so he's an exception to the rule, but you have to admit the Rockets are up there.
Bro,
yeah,
the Rockets are looking amazing. Like, look. I respect.
You got to give credit where credit's due, right?
Except Dallas, I do not mess with the Mavericks at all. Or the
Cowboys. Yeah.
But look, as far as talking about basketball, Spurs first, then Houston Rockets second.
Yeah.
And right now, the Rockets doing their thing. They look like Golden State did 2 years ago with a strong bench.
Yeah, that 2015 team, the 73-9 team.
Or like the Spurs did, when they still had Tim Duncan and a strong bench. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, they're looking real good, man.
And see, that's what it comes down to, guys. Like, you can front load a team as much as you want. But if your bench is lacking, your front loaded guys can't play the whole game.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I noticed about the one thing I can tell you about the Rockets this year. I'm talking about this year, 2018 season.
Yeah.
I actually feel so confident for them going into the playoffs because with them hitting on all cylinders, staying healthy, of course.
Yeah, and health is a big
health
thing
is a huge factor because health is even affecting the Warriors.
Yeah.
So it's going to affect anybody. And with them being healthy, with them, all these guys hitting, your supporting cast for James Harden and Chris Paul, man, the
sky's the limit. The sky's really the limit.
And that's I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to them because Houston's my team. I'm going to rep Houston no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm also going to give credit to
credit's due. Yeah,
credit's due.
Yeah, for sure.
If my team, if I see that my team cannot beat a certain team like the Warriors.
Yeah.
I would be like, you know what, man, I don't know. We might win one.
But you call it how it is because what have we been doing for the past, 30
exactly.
games or so? We've only lost, we're like
Right,
30,
yeah.
31-2 in the past like 33 games, right?
Man, there's past 40 game bans.
Yeah, we only lost to New Orleans and to Toronto.
So,
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Quick question.
Yeah, what's
quick
up?
question. And I'm pretty sure this question already been asked a dozen of times. So
Yeah.
what do you think was like the main factor in the Rockets being this way?
James
You know what
Harden.
I'm saying?
James Harden. Are you talking about
I
aside?
mean, James Harden been here though.
Okay.
James Harden been here.
So you
What
talking
about
about? Are you
Chris
talking
Paul?
about this
What
season? Are you talking about this season? Okay,
This
yeah,
season.
it'd be Chris
Like,
Paul
what's the
for sure.
change? Yeah,
Because
big change.
see, that's the thing. Like you noticing like playoff pushes past. Harden carried the team on his shoulder. If you look at the roster, like let me Google the roster real quick. If you look at the roster, like Rockets roster 2017.
Basically,
2017.
all I'm saying, y'all better thank God Chris Paul there.
Yeah,
Straight up, thank God. Because now in the playoffs, bro. Now in the playoffs, if James Harden gives up,
Yeah.
and yes, I'm talking shit. If James Harden gives up, at least you have Chris Paul to there, like to pick him back up.
Because
dog.
you have to think.
Like again, like last year, I saw against the Spurs. Of course, I was rooting for my Spurs. Of course.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of lost respect for Harden a little bit because he just gave up. I'm like, come on, dog.
But like from his point of view, like I pulled up the roster. Like you got Terrence Jones, you got Corey Brewer, Montrezl Harrell, Chinanu Onuaku, the granny free throw, Kyle Wiltshire, Josh Smith, Isaiah Taylor, Clint Capella, KJ McDaniels, Trevor Ariza, Dwight, Tyler Ennis, Pablo Prigioni. He carried that team to the play. Oh, Michael Beasley too. You can't forget Michael Beasley. He had his little push at the end of the season there. He carried that team, and so when you see him wilt away against the Spurs, actually, you saw how like tired he was.
I mean, you have to understand that it was meant to be. They were a number 2 seed.
Yeah.
There were 61 games over.
Yeah.
And we had Kawhi. Yeah.
And they had Kawhi.
Yeah.
They had Kawhi.
Yeah. But see,
Come back to me, Kawhi, please. Come back.
We'll touch on that. Yeah. But you see, like I was saying, like, that he carried a team. And so when he doesn't have the juice, when he's out of the juice, who do they turn to? They didn't have anybody.
Fatigue kicked in.
Yeah, fatigue kicked in. So that's the luxury of this season. They got Chris Paul. And, Chris Paul is that guy that, like, if somebody's lacking, he'll call him on their shit. He's not going to be this guy be like, man, he's not playing well. I'm not going to. I don't want to piss him off. Yeah, you do. And I feel like he can get to Harden because he's been there. He has that. Maybe he hasn't been to the championship, but he has that pedigree because he's seen success.
He got close, though.
Yeah, he's gotten close many times, sure. But he knows what it takes. He's played with championship level players. He knows what it takes to get there, and he's hungry. That's the main thing. He's hungry. If you put him against a superstar that hasn't touched greatness or doesn't want it as much, because a lot of these players, man, they play for that check. They play for that check. They're not trying to get anything else, So.
Yeah, but you ain't ready to call no names, though, huh?
No, I don't. I ain't counting nobody's pockets, you know what I'm saying? But, like, so a lot of players are playing for checks, and so, but Chris Paul, he actually wants that championship.
Right.
And I feel like that's what he needs because Harden's in what, he's like 25, 26 now, right?
Harden's 28.
28.
Like,
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'd have been surprised.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a while. I don't know why I thought he was young.
I know we're not the same age.
But he's young. He's young, right? He knows he has a lot of league time left ahead of him, right?
Like
so what's push? Did you say 4 years?
I said 5.
Okay.
Well, 6 more years.
Okay.
For his prime?
Yeah, like going past
before his prime. I thought you
before
said
his
left
prime.
in the league.
Like,
I was like, what are you talking about?
Like maybe like 31. That would be like at the top of his prime.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guarantee he'll finish off as a Rocket, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
as much as they paid him, shoot, he better stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is now he has somebody else. When he's not there, he has Chris Paul that can pick it up. He has a floor general. Like whenever they take him out, because a lot of the times when they would take James Harden out, his bench unit it would wilt, and the other team would go on runs, right? And so then he could only take what, like 5 minutes, 6 minute break, and then he had to come back in and get gassed even more. Yeah. And when you're playing a team like the Warriors, where 1 through 5 can switch onto you, what do? You can't really do anything. Yeah. So now we have multiple people that can score. We got Chris Paul. We got Eric Gordon.
Oh man, he's
got Egod. We got Egod that's shooting like 30 foot three pointers.
Ever since he came back from that illness, I don't know what.
I don't know what he drank. I don't know what kind of medicine. But I need that
because he's dropping bombs.
Yeah, because he's not taking normal threes. He's not taking normal threes. He's taking threes beyond.
And they work on that.
They work on it. That's what they practice. That's what they practice. And a lot of people say like you practice how you play, right?
And you have to see why they work on that because defense is really not going to be out there.
They're not going to come out there because that's so much closeout space, man. Because a lot of
yeah.
people clog the paint because they don't want the paint to be open because Capella's going to come in for the alley-oop, right? And so Now, what I really want ISO Joe to take in that paint, man, because a lot of these people are going to come out and guard the three-point line. And ISO Joe, he's that post-up guy.
Right.
But, right, I mean, I know he was coming off a wrist injury or something. You know, he hasn't been really top-notch ISO Joe, but
I don't expect him to be. I mean, he was more of an insurance type player, but add a little bit more depth. But I do expect a little more just as a veteran.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Just to have that veteran leadership and, you know, that, you know-how about what to do in certain scenarios and stuff. But, yeah, man, I just love that we're, you know, blessed with a team like this that, you know, first team through third team has somebody that can put a lot of points on the board. You know,
lucky bastards.
Yeah.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, well, now that we're talking about it, let's
God.
talk about the Spurs, man. Because the Spurs are perennial. They're perennial playoff teams.
They're
perennial
Yeah,
playoff
and
teams.
like we just got back to the playoffs last night. Actually,
Last
We just
night,
got back.
exactly, because the Rockets beat the
By the way,
Clippers. You're
by the
welcome.
way,
You're welcome.
Okay, first of all, can you let me finish? I was going to say thank you, but you know what? No, now I'm not. So
right.
fuck you, right? But nah, man, it's like, look, first off, like we gotta talk about this whole thing between like, you know, like Kawhi coming back to the Spurs. Now I'm hearing Tony Parker saying, man, at this point we don't even like it's no point for him to come
Yeah,
back.
he said
You know what I
something
mean?
like, yeah.
And it's like, damn, Kawhi, my boy. You know, Kawhi, my boy. You know what I'm saying? I talk to him on the phone. Now I'm pushing. But nah, but like the whole situation where it's like, basically, I mean, Pop never really said it like this, but basically, Pop called him like, hey, man, stop being a bitch. Like, come on.
Yeah, because
You know-
I remember like they were saying like Pop had like a sit down meeting with them.
Yeah.
It got that bad where Pop, you know, the coach that everybody and their mamas wants to play for.
Bro,
He
he's the
had to sit-
greatest. He's the greatest. coach
He's the greatest
of this
And-
era right now. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and the fact that he had to come in there and intervene and like kind of like say like, "Hey, man,
yeah,
you got to get your shit together, man."
you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
I'm
it
just-
didn't. It still didn't work. And Kawhi is still saying. So I feel like this is like a serious thing.
I'm conflicted because, like I said, Kawhi's like one of my favorite players, like number 2 favorite player. Of course, my favorite player, LeBron James. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But you know, Kawhi like my second favorite player, and yeah, I want him to be healthy because I know he rolled his ankle like so many times.
Yeah.
Like so many times.
Oh, thanks,
So
Zaza.
I wanna
Thanks,
give-
Zaza, for that.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, I ain't want to talk about that, right? Because me and Zaza got problems, right? But anyway, but anyway, it's like, yeah. So I want him to get healthy, but I feel like now you know you up and walking around, bro. You got the nice suits on and everything. You up and
Yeah.
walking around. You should be good by now.
But
So do you want to play or don't you? Like,
Yeah.
and now and Pop my boy too, greatest coach of the era. Now Pop saying you a bitch. I mean, what I'm supposed to do?
If I was the Spurs, not just because it's this year and the Rockets are looking to take the title this year.
Yeah.
If I'm the Spurs, I wouldn't push as serious as that injury has,
Right.
Yeah.
quote unquote, been serious. I don't know, a quad injury like that shouldn't have taken that long.
But if you're gonna close the door on the Kawhi case, are you calling this season a wrap for the Spurs?
I would not jeopardize his health due to the fact that
True.
it's been
Yeah,
affecting
yeah,
all
yeah.
year.
Because it's not
I
just
didn't
some,
see your
it's
point
not
on that.
it's not just some like regular injury. Because
Right.
I'm looking at it right now, it's a quad injury.
Right.
It's quadricep muscle, that big
Yeah.
ass muscle in the front of your leg. That's your wheels, man.
Yeah.
Like that's your wheels, and if it's not ready to go this far out, you know it must. I feel like it's something really serious.
Right.
Because they're gonna have to push hard.
Yeah,
to
because
just
he
get
ain't no
past-
chump. Because Kawhi
No.
ain't no chump. Like I feel like if he wanted to play, he would play.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has.
See, yeah, we
outside-
want to say that. That's what we want to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
You-
we
you're
don't
gonna sit-
know for sure because
you're gonna sit here and
he's not saying anything. You know what I'm saying?
well,
He's
he
not
doesn't
saying
talk- he doesn't-
anything.
He doesn't
He
talk at
doesn't-
all.
I know.
He's
Like
a
he's
robot.
quiet, like,
He's a robot.
and like that's part of the reason why I like him. You know, he's quiet. He's not like that big superstar that's just that they're just gonna be talking shit like Kevin Garnett or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I ain't throwing shade at Kevin Garnett. I'm just saying. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
me?
yeah.
But yeah, he's quiet, but it's like you gotta. This is something you gotta you have to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like you
for
have to let the fans know, especially.
Yeah.
The fans want to know. Like the fans,
'Cause the fan-
that's your backbone.
You
know
know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you think about it, like the fans, they buy these season tickets, right,
Yes.
for the players. They want to
Yes.
see their players. They want to see
Yes.
the best product on the court, right?
Yes.
So when you pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and you don't see the super, imagine
and y'all losing?
Yeah,